What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Before I begin, I want to say thank you so much to each and every single one of you for helping this channel to become what it is becoming. This channel does grow little by little, and that's because of you. If you like what you see and you enjoy the content, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe, smash that like button, comment in the comment section below, and hit the bell to receive notifications. Also, I do have an eBay store called the Carolina Collector 001. The link is in the description box below of every video and short that I upload here on YouTube. Thank you to everyone that has been buying my sports cards and various other items off of me. And we're going to get right into this. Please forgive me for not uploading content recently. It's just these past few days have been, and I'm trying not to use foul language here, less than stellar. Let's leave it at that. I've got a lot of personal issues going on off camera. The obvious one, I've discussed here on the channel, is the death of my father. There's been some fallout because of that. There's a lot of things that need to be taken care of within my family. I'm not going to get into what that is. Certain things have to remain private. But, emotionally, it's been taxing on all of us. I've been trying to do what I can to help out my mother, and networking with my sister. I really haven't gotten in touch with my brother recently. As you know, he sent me my father's sports cards, or at least a big chunk of them, along with his comic books. It's just right now things are still very feral or raw, and it's a bit emotional. It's emotionally taxing. Let's just leave it at that. And then there are other personal issues, which I'm not going to discuss here on the channel. It's been a very frustrating, just aggravating, depressing. Like I don't have any more descriptors or adjectives. I don't like to be a negative Nancy because I want this channel to be fun. But unfortunately, there are YouTubers out there that create this aura that everything is all fine and dandy and perfect and nothing can ever go wrong. But that's really not the case. When reality strikes and reality hits, sometimes, you have to deal with stuff. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple days. It's just, a lot of things have been going on with myself. As you all know, which I just mentioned in this video and every other video I upload here on YouTube, my eBay store has really become a hassle lately. I normally would show photo evidence and printouts and stuff like that, but again, you have to forgive me, guys and gals, and I hope you can take me at my word for this one. Typically, I like to produce the receipts. It's just I've been very overwhelmed with all the stuff that's going on with my family, and again, there's other things I'm not going to talk about here on YouTube, but I am worn out. I'm very worn out. eBay, the post office, and now UPS have really put a damper on my eBay business. I've made multiple videos here on YouTube concerning the post office and eBay shenanigans, and the post office along with eBay has struck again, and now UPS is now part of this conversation because it's just either laziness or incompetence or whatever it is. I don't know. I wish I had answers and I don't. But, I'm hemorrhaging money as a result. I am an LLC, but because of all of these setbacks that keep happening, it costs me money. For example, recently, let's deal with eBay first and the post office because this is a combined issue. I sold a Seattle Mariners Mitchell and Ness hat, a Ken Griffey Jr. hat, a satin one, really nice one. I wanted to keep it for myself, but I'm not a Mariners fan. And I'm never going to wear it. I never took the tags off or whatever, so I listed it over at my eBay store. Somebody bought it just like that, shipped it out, and it was delivered. And it shows it in the shipping itinerary that it was in fact delivered. And again, I use several apps, postal app, or whatever it's called, 17 track. I use eBay's tracker, the USPS tracker, etc. So I have a very good understanding of where these packages are going when I'm able to track them. All of a sudden, I got a refund request from the customer saying that their package never arrived, that it's not there. And we were networking back and forth with each other. And I'm like, it clearly shows that it was delivered. And the guy's like, oh, I don't know. So I'm like, did you check with your neighbors? Apparently this person lives in an apartment building, and they said it was either downstairs or was left by the front door. I'm like, it probably got stolen. I would file a police report. I'll file a post office missing package claim, which I did do. The report came back within 48 to 72 hours, somewhere in that time frame, and it was in fact delivered. And eBay has that policy that when a package gets delivered, there's really not much I can do as a seller. My obligation to the customer is now done. But they filed this claim anyway, and all of a sudden, and miraculously, 3 days later, the customer messages me, oh, the post office delivered it, finally. I give you that look of cynicism because most likely, and I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but you're talking about 4 days after the fact. Now all of a sudden the box shows up. The post office can't be that incompetent. Yes, we all know that they are incompetent, but after 3 to 4 days, I think this happened because I filed a missing package claim on their behalf, and I'm sure that they received that claim, and I gave them the claim number, and I input that number into eBay when they send you that claim, and now all of a sudden it turns up, and the claim was dropped, which is a good thing, because I didn't have to refund the customer. But again, I had to go through all of this nonsense and stop what I'm doing and go through all of these hoops to protect myself. Which brings me to issue number 2. As you all know here on the channel, I've talked about this in the past, that last summer I got diagnosed with high blood sugar, that, I'm slowly creeping up to becoming a full-blown diabetic. I was diagnosed as being H1C. And I've been ordering supplements to control that, especially with the neuropathy in my toes that I have these days. I take a lot of R-alpha lipoic acid. I take all the B vitamins across the board, B1, B12, or benfotiamine and folate and all that stuff, right? And I found a supplement that deals with sciatica that has all of those supplements and herbs and all that stuff, like cinnamon, etc., all combined into one supplement that you take 3 of them one time a day, or you spread it out over the course of a day. And I was instantly hooked because some of these bottles are like $30 to $40 each. Some cases they're $15, some cases they're $30, some cases they're $50. They're very expensive, especially like R-alpha lipoic acid. That's expensive stuff. So I found this, and the bottles that I bought were like $14 each, coming from a wholesale distributor on eBay. And I did my research online and read up on this stuff, and I was sold on it. Bought the 4 bottles, cost me with shipping like $50. And then I got a tracking number from New Jersey. But then, I trust my instincts sometimes. And I did a little bit of a deep dive because I went into the feedback. Just something, I don't know what it was, that alerted me, because the photo that they used was a stock photo that you can get off of the actual website. So I went to the website again, and then I went on to Target's website, because Target also sells this stuff along with CVS, Walgreens, and all your other pharmacies. But the bottles are $40 to $50 each. And I paid $48 to $50 for 4 bottles. So that started raising red flags. And stupid me, jumping the gun, already paid for this stuff. And this one is on my shoulders. Turns out that when you look at the feedbacks in this particular seller's neutral and negative column, you see people posting fake, and the shipping sucks and all this stuff. And then I'm like, wait a minute, the tracking number is coming from New Jersey. Let me look at the account itself. It's based in China. So they order the shit from China as a third-party distributor. I filed a claim with eBay showing the address. I took a screen capture from Target, And I also did a check on this thing on their actual website as far as this particular supplement is concerned. Turns out that this stuff is manufactured, or at least the lab where they do all of this stuff is right here in the United States in Nevada. I file a complaint with eBay. Because you're allowed to send 3 screen captures when you do this sort of thing, is what I did. I showed the address from Target's website. I showed the address from the main website. And then, of course, I showed the purchase. You have to provide the item number, et cetera, et cetera. And then, I made my claim. And sure enough, they pulled the listing down. And I can't do anything about getting my money back because the thing is already in transit and I have to wait X amount of days before I can file a refund for the thing. For all I know, that could be paint dust or chalk or plaster of Paris that was put in a blender. I don't know what's in this stuff that's supposed to be coming here. I'm not going to put things into my body that if it's fake and it's coming from China, and we know eBay is very, very good at allowing shit like this to slip through the cracks, especially when it comes to sneakers, jerseys, sports memorabilia. I just watched Neo Cards and Comics about fake autographs and memorabilia being distributed out there. And apparently there was a big bust. Go check out his channel. He talks about it. And now there's fake supplements that are probably going to show up to my front door if they show up at all. But the listing was taken down by eBay. And again, you look at all the feedbacks and stuff. You look at the neutrals. You look at the negatives. Same thing. Which now leads me to the next issue when it comes to UPS. I ordered for what are called J-case fuses. And this person is actually in New Jersey. And I have a perfect feedback, 100% feedback rating. I ordered for these J-case fuses. The seller sent them via UPS. And for whatever reason, I got the message through text that the package was delivered at a locker. Not my front door, not the mailboxes outside, but in a locker. So I have a UPS store right around the corner where I live, and I went there and I showed it to them. I'm like, where's my package? We don't have lockers on the property. They say, well, maybe it's a locker in the leasing office. I'm like, the leasing office doesn't accept packages. So I give him my driver's license. I give him my phone number, and here's a printout of the tracking number. They can't find it. So I went to my leasing office, and God bless those women. They are so good to me. You know what I mean? I knocked on the door because Wednesdays they're closed. They catch up on their clerical work and stuff like that. And they let me go inside. I said, I'm sorry to come here. I know you ladies are closed, but UPS, and I had the thing with me, and I'm like, did UPS drop off a box here because it's saying it's in a locker? And I know you ladies don't accept packages here anymore, but apparently it was dropped off someplace. And they said no, and they looked through whatever boxes they had, as they normally get office supplies. No box, no fuses, no J-case fuses for me. I search online, I go through the motions, jumping through hoops, trying to get a human being on UPS's phone service or, customer service, whatever. She tracks the thing. It's in North Charlotte somewhere. And I can't do anything about it because I am the customer. UPS requires the distributor and or the seller to file the paperwork or to print out a new label to have that item picked up and delivered here. So now I messaged the guy I bought this stuff off of, and thank God at least I had a good guy that I was working with on eBay that's sending me a brand new set. And I gave him my home address this time, here where I live. Why did they bring it to North Charlotte? And the location where it's at is about 25 to 30 miles away from here. I'm not wasting gas going all the way up there to go pick up a fucking box. That's because, once again, with the laziness of UPS, just like with the Postal Service, and FedEx is probably the worst. Thank God it didn't come with FedEx. FedEx by far is probably the worst offender of them all. They just drop stuff off wherever they want. I've had that experience too. Thank God so far I haven't had a deal with FedEx. But you know what UPS does when they're done with their route? There are two places I know where they park their truck when they're done with their route. Right here on the other side of the property where one of my good friends lives, and right here at the strip mall where Walmart is. And they wait until the clock runs out, and then they go back to wherever it is they come from, and then they punch out. and they earn their paycheck because they fly through their route and they don't care what they do. They don't care how they go about it. That's what you fuckers do. If you work for UPS, the post office, or any of these places, that's what you do. I'm a union guy myself. I know how you operate. You run through your routes, you drop your packages anywhere you want at any time, and then you go find a place to hide. That's what you do. Speaking of the post office, the ladies there, especially the big manager there of the property, she actually filed a complaint with the post office on our behalf. That's what she told me today, because I rely on the post office to get supplies from my eBay store. Here are envelopes. I ordered 200 of these. You know where they ended up? Over there at the mailbox house, when it's supposed to be delivered to my front door. Apparently, the regular delivery guy is on vacation for a month, so they have all these new replacements filling in his spot, and they're just dropping stuff off wherever they feel like it. Thank God at least these 200 envelopes ended up over there. I was able to walk and go grab them. But you can't trust people these days. People see packages sitting out there. You're going to have some porch pirate come out of no place and scoop those boxes up, or packages, or envelopes, or what have you. They can't just leave them there. So thank God that they filed a complaint on our behalf as tenants. And that makes me segue into my next issue. The post office is so messed up. I have supplies that are in limbo. Anyone that's dealt with me on eBay knows how I sell my singles in those envelopes. I've ordered for another 100 of these. This is how I encase my cards, which, by the way, the asshole that filed that bullshit claim in, of course, California, I believe is where it was, or someplace out west. I package all my cards in envelopes, which really don't bend that much. It's very difficult. You literally have to muscle these envelopes to bend them. Then I encase them in these. All my cards, either I send them in card saver ones or top loaders. Staple them shut. Excuse me for the camera banging. Pardon me. I put them in PSA or SGC sleeves, and then I seal them in a tamper-proof, or I seal them with a tamper-proof seal. Apply fragile stickers. And now I've had to go out of my way to put these on there that I printed out myself, to try to force the post office to scan the damn things. And I'm waiting for these. I ordered for another 100. They're usually here within a week. It's now 2 weeks, I think, since I ordered these. Nowhere to be found yet. And I'm running low on supplies. I ordered for 1,000 tamper-proof labels. They're lost in the mail somewhere. I filed a claim with the Postal Service. They all of a sudden, poof, disappeared now. It's almost, 10 days, 12 days? I have no more tamper-proof labels. I ordered for another 500 or something like that. I forgot. I actually ordered for another 1,000 of these just to have them. It's forcing me to spend money against myself, or taking a loan out on myself to buy supplies in bulk, because I need this stuff for my business. And the post office, and now UPS is all screwed up. My J-case fuses for my car ended up in bumblefuck North Carolina somewhere. It's getting frustrating. It's getting very frustrating what's happening. It's costing me money. Which now leads me to the next segment of this video. It's forcing me to sell some of my slabs. And I don't want to sell particular slabs because I worked very hard to acquire these. So I've really had to pick and choose to go from the bottom up and looking at players' stats and their performances. And that's where I've been basing, and also what kind of slabs I have. If I'm willing to sell an autograph of this particular person, or I'm willing to sell a parallel or a refractor or what have you of this same player. For example, right now there's an Ellie De La Cruz team border from 2024 that's graded in SGC 9.5. The auction will end tomorrow. It's 11 o'clock, so yeah, tomorrow sometime it'll end. But I have his out of 25 Baseball Stars auto, which is a heavy hitter. It's a 9.5 from SGC, which is a bigger card than that team border. So I've had to make the unfortunate decision to sell that Ellie De La Cruz to make up for the cost of having to take money out from myself to put it into supplies and shit that I need for my vehicle and all that kind of stuff. I'm hemorrhaging money now because of the fuck ups with the post office, with UPS now. having to deal with people trying to steal off of me on eBay. And eBay clearly does not care about sellers. They don't care. The person that bought that Manny Machado relic off of me somewhere out west, they had it in their possession for 4 days. It shows it was delivered last week, and then all of a sudden, the card is damaged. And this is an LCS we're talking about. And anybody that's in the hobby knows. Some LCSs, not all, but quite a few of them, they're the biggest bunch of Marlboro smoking, bald head, wife beater, armpit hair sticking out from their t-shirt, smelly, gross, disgusting, jobless, homeless, those types of people. You know what I mean? Like just the bottom of, like the most awful type of fucking people you can deal with. I'm not saying everybody, because some LCSs are really, really good, but a lot of them, you see it in the Pokemon space, you see it in TGC with Pokemon, sports cards, sports memorabilia. They are just they're the worst. It's like dealing with a fucking pawn shop half the time with these people. They're gross. Getting ripped off by them, people trying to steal cards off me, people filing false claims. It's putting me under enormous pressure. And now to the final part of this, because of all of this, because I'm trying to put money away, but because I'm constantly having to go into the cookie jar to pay these things in advance and forcing me to buy things in bulk. For example, I ordered over 1,000 of these. These are bubblers that I put my singles in, especially if I have multiple orders. I bought a whole case of them just to make sure I have them now. I had to order rolls of shipping tape and Scotch tape just to have them. So that's why I don't run short. Because when I have orders, my customers expect their cards to arrive lickety-split, which I don't blame any of you. But with all of the holdups and bullshit that goes on with the post office, with all the shipping delays, and like with this guy out west trying to claim that Seattle Mariners hat all of a sudden was delivered after I filed the claim myself with the post office, yeah. It's becoming more and more difficult, ladies and gentlemen, at least from my point of view. I have been very aggressive when it comes to prevent card swapping and all this other nonsense that goes on. But UPS is incompetent. The Postal Service is incompetent. We have a lot of low-life, dirtbag, scumbag, welfare, EBT, food stamp assholes that are out there. And I was a guy that used to be on food stamps for a while. And guess what? The sports card business is what took me off of food stamps. And plus moving here, because I paid $250 less in rent living where I am now. But, I didn't want to depend on that type of system. I don't want to be part of that government program. That stuff is there temporarily for you to be on. So everybody that's bitching, moaning, whining, and complaining, I'm losing my food stamps. Do like what I did. Find a way to make money. That's why I started all of this. My dad was proud of me when he was alive when I told him I started my own LLC. But with all the mess that's going on right now, it's starting to hurt, man. And now, and a lot of you are probably going to attack me politically. Yeah, I voted for Trump, but I see a lot of the things that he's doing, and even I have to scratch my head with a lot of what he's doing, because it's now starting to cost us, the American taxpayer, all of this extra money. Grocery prices are going up, especially with the nature of my income. I have to pray that the COLA goes up this year, because inflation now is starting to go up again, and I can use the extra money because I do this as long as I keep within a certain threshold. I'm allowed to do what I do. But that money only goes so far, man. I got car insurance to pay, electric bills. My electric bill I have to pay the rent, et cetera, et cetera. And I have people that are out there. Thank God I've been able to keep it to a slow crawl. As of today, I have 6 negative feedbacks and 1 neutral after selling over 1,300 items over at my eBay store. I think I have 120 followers over there, which, by the way, if you're customers of mine, follow me at eBay as well. I might actually add another disclaimer on the bottom of my videos from now on. Follow me over at eBay. But, all of this combined, it's making things more and more difficult. With the tariffs that are going on, fake products, like with these supplements, for example, I don't know if it could be sawdust for all I know. And thank God I caught it in time. Whether I get my money back or not, we'll see what happens with the claim I filed. But at least the listing was taken down. There are all sorts of shenanigans going on where you cannot make a decent living. I don't want to go back on fucking EBT. You don't want that in your life. You don't want any of that stuff in your life. Believe me what I'm telling you. There's nothing more liberating than being in charge of yourself. This keeps me busy. With all the personal stuff that's happened with me, especially with my poor father dying, I need a distraction. The business in and of itself is what keeps me busy. And of course, when I do my reviews, I got my studio series Optimus Prime right here. Bear with me, guys. Forgive me. I'm trying to pump out as much information in a short amount of time. This video is almost 30 minutes long. So I'm going to try to wrap it up. But, I mean, you need distractions. You need distractions. You need something to keep you busy. And if I can find a way to make money legitimately and honestly and all that sort of thing, and still be within the boundaries of what I can and cannot do, then, I'm all for it, man. I mean, I love doing this kind of thing. It makes me happy. It keeps me busy. It keeps my mind going. Because I don't want to be one of these remote control, leeches in our society that just take in free money. I fought long and hard in the courts to get what I have today. And to get myself off of food stamps like I did last year was one of the best things I ever did, because this was helping me. And it still does. Every time you ladies and gentlemen buy sports cards off of me, it goes a great deal. You see that in my YouTube shorts where I'm buying groceries and stuff. It's not just to buy things and things and more things, It goes on legitimate stuff because I got bills to pay too, like all of you do. I'm trying to survive like everybody else is. But with all the tariff nonsense that's going on, this is why even I have to question, like, what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? And then we have people who are taking advantage of the system, gaming the system, trying to rip off people like me. Maybe some of you are eBay sellers as well that are getting screwed and ripped off and bent over by all these scams and nonsense. Maybe you're getting screwed by the post office and UPS and FedEx. It's rough, man. It's really rough. So, with all that being said, again, forgive me for being a negative Nancy. I just want all of you guys to know what's been going on the past couple of days, why I haven't been on camera, because I kind of needed a cool-off time. I think, with everything that's gone on, my buddy over here dying, my dad dying, and other personal issues, which I'm not going to discuss, and now knowing that somewhere down the line, most likely in September, I'm going to have to go back up north again to help my family out. They're my family. So now that's putting even more burden on my shoulders, because now, I have to arrange things again. I have to arrange to have my apartment watched, and have all my stuff protected, and it's just, this year sucks. 2025 for me has been nothing more than a fucking loser. I mean, thanks to all of you for supporting my eBay store and this YouTube channel. But 2025, right out of the gate, has not been easy. It really hasn't been easy. It's been an emotional roller coaster for me. It's been a financial roller coaster for me, with the loss of my dad, the loss of my buddy, and what happened with with the woman I was with for the past year, and just everything across the board. And now with all these scams going on and people trying to game the system and cheat and rip me off, and it's a lot, folks. And I do it all by myself. In a way, I should consider myself a lot stronger and thicker skinned than I was, at this time a couple of years ago. But, that comes at a cost, an emotional cost sometimes, and ultimately a financial cost. It's like, what now? But anyway, everybody, I hope you're not dealing with the same kind of issues like I am. If you're running a small business out of your home or your garage or what have you, just stay frosty, stay sharp. Things are just out of hand and out of control these days. I see videos all the time popping up on my YouTube feed where fellow sellers like myself are dealing with all sorts of crap. At least the one thing that's good is that the threshold for 1099Ks, like I had to file a 1099K for the first time for last year. I'm probably going to have to file another one in the beginning of 2026 for this year, but at least that's done for now. And that's going to be huge because what's the threshold? Over 200 and something items and or $20,000, man. And I, thank God I won't have to pay tax on that stuff next year if I decide to keep this. But right out of the gate, it's going to take me over $1,000 just to maintain the LLC. There's a lot that goes into it, ladies and gentlemen. But when all of these setbacks happen, and that's basically, I'm going to wrap it all up into a little bow. When all these setbacks happen, you know, it's difficult to prepare for life as it is. I never thought my dad was going to die. I never thought my buddy Rob was going to die. I never thought the woman that I was with would just turn her back and walk off and do all of this crazy shit to me. You know, and I'm trying to do everything honestly and legitimately with my sports card stuff, but then you got to deal with the incompetence of these shipping companies, and or are you getting fake products or things coming from overseas that there's a third party proxy in there somewhere that's going through all of this? Like I caught this person selling fake supplements that could have potentially been toxic or dangerous to me. And then people trying to rip me off and steal my baseball cards and stuff I'm trying to sell. It sucks, man. This is when you really get to see the awful aspect of human nature. When the true face of human nature starts to show itself, the deep down hidden evil in people. I hate to sound cynical. Over the years, I've seen way too much where people are narcissistic. You know, it's the white man's fault. It's the skinny person's fault that I'm not finding love in relationships, or all this crazy shit. You know, gay people claiming that we have you know, Auschwitz out there that we're lining people up and burning them alive. Like all this crazy crap. That's all make-believe because of fear-mongering and panic. And now with all of this that's going on, especially, you know, for a guy that I put my faith and trust in sitting in a big chair there in Washington, D.C., you know, it's starting to affect me now, too. Like it's affecting a lot of you. There's a lot of things that he's doing that I like, but there's a lot of things that I'm beginning to wonder now. Like, what the hell is he doing? But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I know it's over 30 minutes long at this point. Forgive me for that. I promise you, I'll try to make a better video. I still got a lot of stuff to review. I still got piles of cards that I need to list on eBay. But with everything that's going on outside of YouTube and eBay, I gotta make things a priority for myself. I have to prioritize quite a bit first and foremost before I take the time to take to YouTube here. So I hope you can forgive me for that. I still got some Transformers that I want to review here on the channel. I have stuff that I ordered or pre-ordered. I ordered for Lyo Convoy from Japan for Takara. I ordered for Missing Link RC. I ordered for Missing Link Sunstreaker, which some people are getting theirs early. I probably won't. I'm not baller enough and I'm not a big enough content creator to get things early or sponsorships or anything like that. I rely on my income and I rely on my sports card sales. You know, thanks to all of you. But I still got some stuff, you know, that I got to review. I got toys, He-Man figures, other stuff, jerseys, sneakers, etc. Hopefully when I get around to it. But with all of these distractions, folks, it's difficult. It's very difficult. And I appreciate your time and patience, everybody. Again, forgive me for the extra long video today. I'm trying to keep my videos short, but got to establish all that context for everybody, folks. So with that being said, I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Just stay sharp, everybody. With the way things are going, especially if you're an eBay seller like me, don't allow yourself to be scammed and ripped off, and stay on top of these people. Stay on top of UPS, the Postal Service, FedEx. You got and eBay themselves. It's like you got to stay sharp. And that's all I really got to say. Good night, everybody.